Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? It's me, Larry Yoakum III again, here coming at you from my home office in wonderful Rowlett, Texas. We're a few weeks away from Christmas, and this has nothing to do with that. Just wanted to take a little time here to talk about why I write what I write. I pick the genre I write in, which is a combination of sci fi, horror, fantasy, paranormal, you know, pretty much all that stuff. It's a shared universe. Everything takes place in the same world. It's a world that has the undead, it has aliens, it has, pirates, it has angels, demons, other dimensions, etc., etc. Why I chose to write that? That's just what I like. I like horror movies, I like horror books, science fiction, dragons and magic, I like all that stuff. So the world I write about, I wouldn't call it my ideal world, because nobody wants to live in a world where a monster's gonna snatch you out of the woods and freeze you with fear pheromones and make you unable to move while he eats you alive. Nobody wants to live in a world where there's an infection of spiders laying eggs in your back and they're gonna burst out and you bleed out. I know, pretty graphic, especially if you hate spiders, which I do. Trust me, I had nightmares for weeks when I was writing all these stories about the spiders. About the Spider Prince of Pensacola and, you know, Master of the World Wide Web, all that stuff. Yeah, I had friggin' nightmares for weeks. They didn't go away until after I was done writing those stories. I wouldn't say I'm afraid of spiders, but I kill them on sight. I'll just tell you that much. So I picked that genre. I don't really. I just call it sci-fi, fantasy, horror. Sci-fi ho. I guess you can call it that. Anyway, I write that because they say write what you know, write what you're comfortable with. I can't do romance, although admittedly, The Haunting of the Nobility kind of turned into a love story unintentionally. But it happened organically. It's not like I said, "Hey, I'm going to write a romantic book. I'm going to write a paranormal love story." No, that didn't go through here at first. The Haunting of the Nobility was based off of several cruises that I've been on with my wife Allison. We've sailed with Royal Caribbean a lot. And there's always an art auction on board by, oh crap, I can't remember the name of the art company, but who cares. But anyway, in the book, Caribbean Kings is the name of the cruise line, and the East Parker Art Gallery is the name of the art gallery on board, based off the real ones. I never actually was on a haunted cruise ship, I'll just point that out. But, when we were sitting at an art auction on one of the previous cruises from, I think it was 2 years ago, I thought to myself, what if this was a cursed painting and it was causing paranormal activity to go nuts on board the ship? And I was piecing together the story up here. Couldn't write it down because I didn't have my computer with me. It's a cruise ship. I'm not going to take it on board there. But I keep all my stories up here until I write them down. And even then, they'll stay in there. But when I got back, I started writing it, and, eventually I got Haunting of the Nobility, which a lot of my readers have said that's one of their favorites. Originally, the ending was going to be less happy, but changed on the fly. That's what happens when you write sometimes. You change stuff on the fly. But like I said, I write that stuff because I know it and I like it. You got to write what you know, write what you like. And if you have other people who buy your books and enjoy them, then you're blessed. I can't write teen dramas. I can't write, family-friendly Christmas tales. Now, I could. I just don't want to. I write what I like. And I don't expect everybody to like my books. I don't like everybody's books either. It's nothing against them. They're talented writers. I just don't read erotica. I don't read romance. That's just not my thing. So I really don't feel good about writing it if I don't read it myself. But, all my fellow authors out there, both independent and traditionally published, I support them in here. And I commend them for their writing and their pursuit of their dream of being an author. Because there's too much television these days. I mean, I can't judge. I watch TV. I prefer movies over television, but I still watch TV. Can't stop myself from watching The Simpsons. You know, it's been on for almost 30 years now. Bart Simpson should be my age almost. And I'm 40. But I still watch TV, I won't lie. I prefer to read. I prefer to write. And I really hate reality television. That's stupid. It's not really reality anyway. It's all scripted. You know, it's false drama. I mean, there's no Amish mafia, and if there was, they're not going to let themselves be put on television. It's the mafia. You know, what's another one? The Devil's Ride or Hell Ride, something like that. It was on A&E about an outlaw motorcycle club. No MC, whether or not they're 1%ers or 99%ers, are going to let you put their weekly church meetings, what they call it, you know, when they get together. They're not going to let them have TV cameras and they're recording that stuff. They might not be doing anything illegal, but they're still not going to let people do that. That's why that show was crap. And I think that's, you know, why the Hells Angels are probably, you know, not happy about that, which I can't blame them. You know, they made the MC world look like a bunch of pansies. You know, and the MCs, the bikers, they are some of the coolest, most patriotic people that you can meet. I mean, not like I hang out with the Hells Angels or anything, but I've known people who've known them, and I've met people through them, and they're cool guys. You know, just treat them respectfully, they'll treat you respectfully. That's the same with just about anybody. I mean, there's a lot of people who do things in this world I don't like, but, you know, I'm not about to go after them and say, hey, stop doing that because I don't like it. If somebody told me to stop doing something because they didn't like it, that's what I'm going to tell them. You don't like what I say? Don't listen to me. Don't like what I do? Don't watch me. Piss off. Okay, I'm going off on a tangent here. It happens when you get to be my age. I was talking about, you know, writing what you know and everything. And I was thinking I'm going to read something to you here. A while back, I was published through Publish America, which is now America Star Books, which, you know, same company. Anyway, this thing is called Why We Wrote. There's 4 volumes to this, and I bought all 4 of them, even though I'm in the last one. It's alphabetical. They had all their authors, you know, who wanted to participate. We wrote a little bit about why we write, what got us into it, and what inspires us. I'm in the 4th volume here. But this is kind of old because it says the books I wrote are The Arachnid Anthology and Tales of Things That Should Not Be. Those books are no longer in print. You know, the contracts have expired. I got my copyright back and everything, my publishing rights. I just can't use the book covers anymore because that belongs to them, which I don't care. I got my own covers, which are better. But I will show you something. Bear with me here. I haven't gone anywhere. Okay. Before I read from that, this book and this book. These are my first 2 published books through Publish America. Short story collections, which they charge way too much money. That's why people weren't buying them. But as soon as the contracts expired on that, I got the stories all back. All those stories, plus more that I wrote over the time, is in this. Yoakum's Compendium of Bizarre and Original Stories. Every story from here, from these 2, is in here. Plus extra. Although this one did have some poetry in it, which, hey, guess what? Those poems made it to my collection of poetry, which it's sitting over there, and I don't feel like getting up and getting it right now. But anyway, this with me in it. Why We Wrote. I'll read this to you. 1. What made you write your books? Where do I begin? I was born and raised in a small town where sports were king. Never being very good at them, I got into fantasy sci-fi. Around my senior year of high school, I started writing a few short stories. I eventually put it in the back of my mind and focused on my glorious job of bagging groceries, and when I graduated, I joined the Air Force. During that time, I got married to wife number one. The marriage went sour, so I got into writing again to escape, and I wrote short stories that are found in my two published books, The Arachnid Anthology and Tales of Things That Should Not Be. It really helped me take my mind off of things by jumping onto the computer and knocking out a short story. 2. How did your books change your life? Well, eventually, I put a group of my short stories together, all similarly themed, and submitted them as The Arachnid Anthology to Publish America. Tales of Things That Should Not Be soon followed. It felt great to have my work in real print. It made me see that I really could do it, and without all the supposedly important college education they say you need. Which I'm going to point out, college is not unimportant. I support college people. I just don't think you need it to write. Okay, don't mean to go off on a tangent again. I don't knock college, you understand. I just don't find it necessary for writing. Imagination is something you are born with, not something you learn in a classroom. 3. How did they change the lives of others? I can't honestly say that my writing has changed the lives of others unless they really like original work of fiction involving a mix of sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and my own unique twisted sense of humor. If I have changed anyone's life, I am unaware, but I would be proud to have that sort of impact on someone. That is a rare gift indeed, to influence anyone with your words, be they written or spoken. Plus, preferably if I change their lives for the better. I don't want to give people phobias and nightmares and all that. Or do I? And 4, the last one. What would you say to someone who can't read? Reading itself is a gift. Over the thousands of years that the human race has been writing out its thoughts, reading has been an important part of our history and culture. In some cultures, reading was only for the rich and powerful, and the poor were kept in the dark, illiterate and unable to learn. Not to sound cliche, but knowledge is power, and reading can bring knowledge. The best way to better yourself can start with a simple task of reading. Whether you don't know how to, or just haven't learned for whatever reason, or if you can read, simply don't want to because you'd rather watch TV, learn how. A bit of advice. We live in reality. Reality can bite. Reading is a good, healthy way to escape for a while and recharge your mental batteries to face the real world. Hopefully with a bit of imagination to handle your issues with. And I think you can still buy this. Like I said, I got all 4 volumes, but you'd have to go to their website. And, I've gone there a few times just to look. They're always having issues with their website, so screw them. I'd rather be self-published anyway. Granted, I have to do everything myself. I was doing that with them too. They don't do anything for you other than publish your stuff. Yeah, they publish it for free, but you get no editing, no proofreading. You got to do all that yourself or hire somebody to do it. They just print it as you send it to them. So if there's any typos, they make it into the book. And actually, I have read books, traditionally published books by well-known authors, that the names that everybody would know. And I've talked to other people like this too. We've seen typos and grammatical errors in these educated, established writers' work. So I'm thinking, okay, their publisher and their editors did a screw-up job on that, if it made it to print. But I can't judge because I'm sure us independents have done the same thing. We can't all afford, to have, professional editing and stuff done. I rely on people who are going to cut me a break sometimes, or just do it myself. But that being said, writing is not easy, but it's a great thing to do. We need more writers in this world, more readers, and less internet reality stars, or whatever you want to call them. I mean, just because you drop your top in public does not make you a star. I mean, just because you have a podcast where you see your reaction, like, oh, I'm going to watch this horror film and watch my reaction, that doesn't make you a star. We just need more people to write and a lot more people to read. You know, I don't care if you like reading horror stories, you like reading autobiographies, you like reading poetry, you like reading self-help books. Just read something. You know, television's great once in a while, but come on, we all watch too much of it. We need more reading to focus our... It's like exercise for the brain, for the imagination. And there's really not enough imagination in this world anymore. Everybody's also serious about, you know, politics and, you know, crap like that. You know, rights of people, you know, which rights are important. I'm not trying to sound like a fascist, but get over yourselves. You know, I don't give a shit what your policies are, what your politics are. Republican, Democrat, you're all full of shit. Just read a damn book once in a while, get a sense of humor, and quit focusing on your little cage of crap. Alright, I'm starting to ramble again. So with that, I'm going to go do something else right now. I'll probably get myself a bottle of beer and then chill out for a while. Everybody have a good night.